Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about today, starting off with a new update to the Xbox PC app, which I will show you some of the differences. It's pretty nice, some of the things that they've added to make it better. We have reviews for Dragon Age the Veilguard, which is very interesting to me because there is definitely a major split on this game. And I listened to one of the reviewers that I do trust, and it sounds like it is not where BioWare wants to be in terms of making their games, but then you have other people saying it is the best BioWare game that they've made in a long time. So we'll talk about that plus some other things. But if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe, share the video, like the video, and let's jump right into this. So first of all, we have here the new home experience in the Xbox app that is now available for all of Xbox insiders. And it brings kind of just a nice seamless look to it with some new features and everything to the app itself. So for example, there's now featured content. There is a deals and discounts window that you can have in there. There is a curated collections and recommendations center. There is a jump back in, which games that you've previously played, quickly get access to them rather than having to find them again on the app itself. And it's pretty nice. I mean, here is a quick look at the actual app itself. We just jump over here. You can see everything. This is basically what I've been playing recently. You can see everything that's I have installed right now currently on my PC, but you have the recently added games to Game Pass. You have the featured section up here, which is basically just Call of Duty. You have all the game deals, and you have some more picks for you and everything. And what else is cool is that there is now this compact mode that if you just select that over, you can see here that they just made everything smaller on the side and it shows up nicer on the screen itself. And what I think is happening with this part of the Xbox app, why they're making all these changes right now, is that they are preparing for the release of a handheld device. I believe that that is going to be why they want to make it more compact. They want to make it less resource intensive, probably going forward for whatever handheld that they do put out. But it's overall just getting better. And this is something that I think Xbox has had to improve on recently, as the Xbox PC app has kind of just been not great for a while, but it is definitely much better now. And they are going to be trying to turn this into something, I think, to compete with Steam. Not that I would know if it ever will on PC. It will be very hard to get to that level. People trust and really love Steam, but they are going to try to get it there where people are wanting to play all of their games in the Xbox app, especially if they have that seamless experience of cross-play, cross-progression, all of that stuff, no matter what device you are on. So the Xbox PC app, as it continues to evolve, hopefully soon there will be the ability to stream all of your games in your catalog that you own on the Xbox ecosystem. That will be great to see, as we know that they are rolling that out. They've already announced that. So I can't wait until we start getting more of those games in that catalog. And then you're going to be able to just jump into those. Let's say you bought a game on your Xbox and your Xbox is in a different room, but you're on your PC right now, and you just want to be able to play it instead of remote playing to that console. You can just stream it right from the cloud. Or if you're on the go and you can't remote play, or you don't have the ability to have a good connection, then you can just stream it via the cloud as well for games that you own. But that is the quick update here on the home experience, the new home experience on the Xbox app that is available to Xbox insiders. And of course, we'll be rolling out to everybody at a later date. All right, let's talk about this, because this is a perfect, I guess, timing to talk about this game, as RPGs are on everybody's top of mind right now, especially with the release of Dragon Age Veilguard. But Xbox's Avowed, which is coming out now in February, which I think they moved it hoping that it would be less of a crazy time period to release it, but February is looking insane. Avowed is still one of my most anticipated games going forward. It was one of my most anticipated games in 2024 before it did get moved to 2025. So now it's up there for 2025 for me. Obsidian is a incredible developer in my opinion, and they make great RPGs. So very much looking forward to this. And one of the things I'm really hoping for is that they just stick to their roots in making games, have some great writing, have some great choices, and just meaningful experiences in the RPG itself. And it sounds like there will be plenty of choices in this game, which has me even more excited. I was already very excited for it, but this has me even more excited. This comes via the Obsidian game director, Carrie Patel, speaking about Avowed during a recent demo session. She touches on the game's choices and how the team is building another decision-driven RPG, saying this: given players things to dig into, that's what makes it meaningful role play. It's about who you want to be in this world and how these situations prepare you to express that. The abilities you can scope into and the weapon loadouts you can choose give you a very different experience each time you play. And I mean, that is what I am really looking for here from Obsidian and from Avowed, is my experience. How personalized is it going to be based off of the decisions that I've made in the character that I've created? And then you go out there and you talk to people about their experiences, and it's just always a cool conversation, kind of the differences that you're getting when people are playing this game. So I hope Avowed does hit on that. I don't need to be just like a massive open world or anything, or a game that lasts hundreds and hundreds of hours. I just need it to be something that gives us a very fun role-playing experience. And it does, from what we've seen from gameplay wise and everything, it looks like it could really end up meeting a lot of those expectations. But fingers crossed here in February when it does release. It's a great game, and they're going to have to make it great, because if it's not, it is going to be overshadowed by everything else that is releasing that month. And that is going to be something that they clearly do not want to deal with. I mean, clearly something that they're risking now, still releasing in February. It is going to be one of those games that people are going to be comparing to everything that's out there and saying, should you play this over this? So it does need to be great. Okay, let's jump over here. Let's talk about a surprise drop here for Call of Duty, which is still continuing to be a ton of fun and will be for a very long time. But Nuketown 24/7 is coming to Black Ops 6. We already talked about this. They are bringing it back, and it is the classic Nuketown map that is dropping in. But they say here on Twitter, Semtex leaks uncovered a reference to a Nuketown 24/7 playlist in Black Ops 6, which will assumedly arrive when the map is added to the public pool on November 1st. And that means that players far and wide will be spending hours grinding the iconic small form map, just as Call of Duty Masters intended. So that's great. I love Nuketown. You're going to see just tons of fun gameplay off of that. And it's always just non-stop action in that map itself, and bringing that game mode playlist where it's the only thing you're playing. It's fun to just stick on that, and you're going to be able to level fast in that as well, because you're going to be getting a lot of kills and everything. I've been playing a lot of zombies recently. Honestly, that's what I've played the most of so far in my Call of Duty experience. I haven't touched the campaign yet. I played some multiplayer, but I've just been going hard on zombies, and zombies is such a fun time, especially once you start figuring out how to get better at it and continue the things that you need to do in that to actually progress the zombies experience, unlocking stuff and making your weapons more powerful. Really fun. So we'll be playing more zombies, but definitely we'll be jumping into Nuketown when this playlist does drop. Okay, let's talk PlayStation here a little bit. But the former head of PlayStation, US boss here, Shawn Layden, always very outspoken. I find it funny, though, his opinions recently, because they really just don't seem very insightful. He's also consulting for Tencent, so you have to keep that in mind. A lot of the stuff, he is still working in the games industry for one of the biggest companies and one of the biggest competitors to Xbox, PlayStation, and all of the big giants going forward is Tencent. He's consulting for them. So he's talking about Japan Studios closure here, which I think for a lot of people was very sad. They made some very unique games at PlayStation. So when they closed that down, it was a down moment in PlayStation's history. People would love to see that studio still be around, and unfortunately it is not. And he has this to say in terms of what happened there and how he felt about it. He says, that was sad. It wasn't necessarily a surprise. I love Alan Becker, former head of Japan Studios, and he worked really hard, but there was so much legacy malaise. It's tough when a studio hasn't hit for a while, then they forget how that feels. You know, if you have a hit once, it's like a drug. Man, you're chasing that next one, right? And then if you don't have that for a while, you forget what it felt like, and then you start to forget how to get there. There are probably two roads. One was the road they took. The other road was a real tough love program, and maybe that's what the Team Asobi thing is. It's like pruning bonsai, right? You get it back down to its nub and see if you can grow back out again. So he's just talking about how the fact that he thinks they lost their way. They hadn't released a game that was a major hit in a while, I guess, before they did close down. I mean, they are a studio behind some great games people love, like Gravity Rush and Ico and Patapon. But then they were also released Knack, which a lot of people actually enjoyed Knack, but I don't think it just did very well for them. But then we do have Team Asobi here with Astrobot, which has been a huge success, both critically and commercially. And that's what I was worried about with Astrobot, was that, yeah, a lot of people are talking about how much they love it. Some people are saying it's game of the year, but would people go out and buy the game? And it looks like they are, which is a great thing, because that means we will be getting more experiences like this from PlayStation, which they absolutely need to get back to their roots and make more experiences like Astrobot, have more variety in the games that they put out, rather than continuously just making the same third person over the shoulder cinematic narrative experience that they know will sell. They need to bring more variety, and that will help them grow in the future. And I think it will help them also make other spin-offs to grow their ecosystem and bring in more revenue to support those big cinematic experiences. So it's good to see that Astrobot is doing good, and Team Asobi is now kind of hopefully where Japan Studios was trying to go, and maybe they can take the lead from there. But yeah, Shawn Layden, it was not, we were sad about the studio closure, although it did end up closing down. And we have an update here from Marathon, Bungie's next game, which I think is extremely important. It's one of those pinnacle moments, I believe, for Bungie, and one of those moments that PlayStation needs to prove why this acquisition of Bungie was good. And we have an update here. They released an official update on the status of Marathon, and it came from a 10-minute long video on the game's official YouTube channel. And in this video, game director Joe Ziegler gives an update on what has been worked on since the last update on Marathon. So this is kind of what he says is happening right now. We're taking a lot of familiar elements, especially a lot of the mysterious and kind of eeriness and the, how do I put it, the psychological kind of the entire IP as it exists before, but we're layering on some elements that we think really help modernize it, and it also bring it to a new story and a new world that we can sort of continue to update and delight all of you with over the course of time. And regarding how the game has been changing during the development, it says here that the changes have been aggressive for the past couple of years, along with holding multiple playtests. He says, we've been testing with a lot of players like yourself, also with creators. It's sort of insanely awesome, and I'm filled with gratitude when I think about it, because there's so many people who contributed by telling us, hey, this thing sucks or this thing is great. And he does say, back to the characters, Ziegler gave a sneak peek at a couple of the characters in development, a runner codenamed Thief and one codenamed Stealth. So that's kind of where Marathon is. I'm hoping we see a nice chunk of this game in 2025. For me, 2025 for PlayStation has to come through with just seeing what the heck they're working on. It's not just Ghost. I mean, Ghost was a nice announcement at the end of this year, but if that's the only thing that we're going to see in 2025, that's going to go on 3 years running, where there's really one game that PlayStation is putting out, at least one major game from their first party. I guess if you want to count Concord, there was that one as well this year, which lasted like 6 days or something. They don't really count that one, maybe 1.5 PlayStation games this year. But in terms of 2025, you're going to have Ghost. I'm hoping we see some more Marathon, and then I'm hoping at least 1 or 2 more other games that PlayStation is going to show off and maybe get a release date for 2025 and redeem from the last 2 years where there's really only been one game. If you're somebody like myself who has a PlayStation 5, who has it for first party games only, it's been pretty lackluster. I mean, if you're playing everything on PS5, I guess it doesn't matter as much if it's your main console, but for me, it's for first party exclusives, and if there isn't enough content out there, my PlayStation 5 really just doesn't turn on. So let's jump over here, and we'll end off with 2 things here. First of all, we got to talk about this. Dragon Age, the Veilguard. The reviews are out, and there are some great reviews for this game. It's right now sitting, I don't know if this has dropped since I record this, it may be around like an 82 or something, but it says here 83 on Metacritic, 84 on OpenCritic, and you're seeing sites like IGN give it a 9. You have Checkpoint Gaming giving it a 10, a perfect score. Seems kind of unreasonable, but I mean, hey, maybe they loved it that much. Forbes giving it an 8.5, DualShockers 8.5, Noisy Pixel 8.5, and it goes on and on and on. There are some people out there that are saying this is the best BioWare game that they've ever played. It is the return of BioWare, return to form of BioWare. And it's extremely interesting to me because when I look at reviews, I am the type of person that is play the game, figure it out for yourself if you enjoy it. If it's something you do want to play, obviously, if it's something you're on the fence about, you're not that interested in it, but if it got like a 10 out of 10, you would go out and play it, then obviously take reviews for more weight. But if it's something you do want to play it for yourself and see if it's as good or as bad as people are saying. And Dragon Age for me is a game I do want to play. It's a game that I have enjoyed over the years, but BioWare has definitely lost their form. And you're seeing good reviews here, but I have a couple of reviewers I listen to, like ACG and Skill Up. I think they're pretty objective in what they do. ACG, unfortunately, did not get a code, but Skill Up put out a 40-minute in-depth review on this game. And I compared it to any of the other reviews that I've seen here. In my opinion, it is a far better review. If you really want to see the meat of this game in terms of review. And he tore it apart. He thinks it's not a good game whatsoever and does not suggest people to go out and buy it. So it's very interesting how you see a lot of these outlets And the fact that they're giving it really high scores, then you have somebody who is more independent in terms of reviews giving it a very, very bad review. So we'll see. I'm going to end up playing it myself. I am kind of suspect on when people are saying it is the best BioWare game, but I will definitely jump in and give it a try and see if it's as good as some of these 9s and 10s are saying it is, or as bad as Skill Up is saying it is. And I believe Mr. Matty Plays as well had a very, very bad review on it too. So those are more independent guys, and I kind of look to them more to get my reviews and to get experiences that I would trust more. And then you also have, again here, corporate big mainstream sites saying it's phenomenal. So who do you believe? That's really up to you. And finally, Nintendo subsidiary is hit with layoffs. Even Nintendo isn't escaping this year without something happening negatively towards them in terms of layoffs and the industry having a rough year. But the report is claiming that roughly 150 of the 400 employees at Mario Club Co. are being laid off. They say here that the layoffs are happening to various groups within the company, and it's not targeting a single set of people. And the conditions for the layoffs are also listed via the outlets that include employees who cause trouble, as well as those who drag their colleagues down. And Mario Club Co. is a debugging subsidiary in Japan. So Nintendo, they are getting hit as well, but they're blaming it more on the performance here of the employees themselves rather than just what you see every single time there are layoffs. We are reorganizing ourselves to be better set up for the future, but they're just saying, hey, these employees are not doing their job, basically. So there it is. I'm going to end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.